Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Oop. Hello, 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 Forgot to turn off the other thing. Forgot to turn off. Whoops. Sorry, friends. Forgot to turn off the other volume. I knew that there was one other thing I had to do. So welcome to my 5th anniversary celebration for the Creative Playground membership. Thank you all for being here. And I assume that you can hear and see me appropriately, so that's fabulous. Today we're going to play, because that's what we do here at the Creative Playground. That's what we do in my world. And thank you all. Zoe's not here, but her lovely words at the beginning are noted, which is great. And Patty, thank you. And Tammy, Susan, Deborah, Angela, Sonia, and Cindy. Hi, y'all. So thank you all for being here. Burning Sky. Kate, yay! Burning Sky. I love that. Feels appropriate for the summer solstice. So welcome to one happy summer solstice. If you are on this side of the world, if you are on the other side of the world, happy winter solstice, because sometimes my friend Lydia pops on these live calls, and she is in New Zealand. So she is celebrating the winter solstice today. So there you have it, y'all. It's both and. We celebrate it all. So I sent out this morning, if you're new here, welcome. I know some of you are pretty new to my group. Some of you might have just stumbled across this live today. Who knows? There is a replay, obviously, because that's how it works here on YouTube. Hi, Joan. Rachel, hi. It's a rare 80 degrees. Yes, it's kind of crazy. So thank you for all the congratulations on 5 years. I can't believe it's been 5 years. And it has been a delight to meet everyone that has come and gone and come back. Some people come back into the membership, and to be a part of y'all's journey, your creative journey, even your life journey. For some of you, I've been a part of your life's journey. You've been a part of mine, many of you, and I really appreciate you being here. So today, this morning, I was saying something and forgot. Roxanne, hi. I sent out an email with a printable. I hope that you got it. If you did not, the link for the printable is below, and you can click on that and get it. You fill out your name and email, and it will automatically send you to get it, and then you can print it. Okay. So we're going to play with this zine. The concept, that sounds like such a big word. I don't really have concepts, but the idea behind this was a friend of mine, Meg, looked up what the 5th anniversary was, and it's wood. So you're supposed to celebrate with wood on your 5th anniversary. And I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. What do we do as mixed media artists with wood? Y'all, we touch paper every day. So we touch, wood every day, trees, there are paper. So that was, the first thought, to do book paper. But then, the concept of wood itself. And so I had access to some gorgeous digital printable designs that had like a woodland theme and wild roses and all that fun stuff. So that's where it went from wood to wild roses on a wood background, because, fun times. There is also a second printable coming on Sunday. And accompanying that one this one's the wild roses. The one on Sunday is the woodland. And accompanying, that's a big word, that printable on Sunday is a YouTube video where I walked through how I designed and played in that zine, okay? And I'll give you a sneak peek, because you're here today with me. I'll give you a sneak peek in a smidging, in a little bit of time. So I hope you just have fun with this. Remember, this is being recorded. Do not, if you are trying to keep up with me, don't. Today is not the day to try and keep up with me. just maybe absorb some information. See, you're welcome to play along with me as much as you can. Just please remember that it's being recorded, and I don't want to spend 2 hours playing in this scene on a live, just because that's not how my day is structured right now. So I might jump around and I might do things quicker than you might, and that's okay. It's recorded. This is meant for you to play and just have a good time. You could play in something else while you're here, or you could do whatever you want to while you're here hanging with me today. But I just wanted to say that because sometimes I feel like when you're watching someone live, you try to keep up with them. And some of my classes, if you're a part of my playground, we do live lessons, and I do not go super fast because, you know, I understand that people are there to learn with me and in collaboration with me. On my free creative playdates that happen quarterly, I tend to work in conjunction with you. But today, don't try to keep up if you can't. It's okay. Okay. Usually I'm just playing in my art journals, just doing my thing, and you all are just doing your thing and kind of hanging out and playing along with me. So that's just a caveat. I just like to say that sometimes that it's okay to just watch it again. Okay. Okay. So let me put my hands in the spotlight because, you know, that's why we're here, to see the stuff, not me. And first of all, my June card has these 3 words on it. So if you're interested in what does the word release, celebrate, or carefree mean to you during the month of June, is there something you can release, something you can celebrate, and how carefree can you be this month? There you go. That was sitting around my desk. I thought I would just share that with you. So here is our zine for today. It's called the Wild Roses zine, for no other reason than it looked like wild roses to me. And if you got it already, then you saw I had some printing directions. So I'm going to just go over that a little bit. But this main piece is meant to be the zine, okay? And I printed it. This one was my sample to work on, and I just printed it on one side. So, hi, Charlene. Welcome. And then I decided that I wanted to print it where there was the green paper, which is also one of the printable pages, this green wrinkly paper on the back side. The reason being is that for this zine, I am including making pockets. So instead of looking at white on the inside, by the way, nothing wrong with seeing white on the inside or a color. That's not where I was going with. This is just another way of having an option. I thought it would be kind of fun to be able to see a pattern because we are making pockets, and why not look and see something fun on the inside as opposed to white. It's right either way, okay? So we have the zine paper. I also printed the zine pattern. This was not in the instructions. This was something that came to me in the middle of the night, y'all. I printed the zine paper pattern on cardstock because when I was working on the other zine, some ideas came to me, and I thought it might be kind of fun to have the same pattern that I could cut out bits of, but that were stronger than just regular paper, okay? So I also printed this just one side on cardstock. And then you also have the green paper, and then you have some fancy book paper, writing, lettery, as a collage sheet, okay? And then the final thing you have, which is, I've already started ripping it up, is some ephemera. It consisted of 2 postcards, okay? So there was 2 postcards, and then there were 2 tags. I'm sure some of you, if you've been around me enough, probably can figure out where all this is going. And then we have 2 tags, and then we had 3 butterflies, okay? And I printed all of this on cardstock, and I printed the green on the back, all right? So I fussy cut 2 of the butterflies out, and then I have 1 left to fussy cut. And then I cut out the tag and ripped off the bottom, and I'm going to do the same thing with this. And then I cut out one of the postcards. So if you're here and you have your printables, but you didn't do anything with them, then what I want you to do is you can sit and spend a little bit of time cutting out the little bits that are here. I'm going to fold up the zine just in case there is someone here who has never folded a zine before, all right? Because I think it's always good to remember that just because I've folded a bazillion zines in my lifetime doesn't mean you even know what the heck a zine is, okay? So a zine, for those that are like absolutely new, is just a little mini booklet. I think the word zine is technically short for magazine. They were part of like an activism a long time ago. That's where zines kind of came from. If you wanted to research like history of zines, we are taking them in a mixed media, junk journal, art journal world, as opposed to what their original intent was. And thank you so much, Lynn. All right, so we're going to fold our zine. The first thing we're going to do is fold the zine the long way and hot dog length, so long way. Having a bone folder, fabulous. Okay, I also wanted to say I printed all of my pages at actual size. That's what my printer does. And it gives this tiny little white border on the edge. It's actually delightful. It prints so much of the design as opposed to leaving like a really chunky edge. And then I just trimmed it off, okay? So that's why it looks slightly different. If your printer, or like your paper like mine, got a little screwy as it went through the printer, it might come out, you know, crosswise. And so I'm not giving you a size for this. It is whatever paper you printed it on. Trim the white edges and start folding, okay? So first thing we do, fold it hot dog. And I do like to fold it back on itself as well. Okay, I like to make my folds really crisp. Then I'm gonna fold it hamburger. Okay, so short edge to short edge. Back on itself. If you already know how to fold zines, you have a way you like to fold them, then you do you, okay? This is just helping those that have never done it. Then I'm going to fold in, and I see that I'm sputtering, always sputtering, gotta love that. I'm going to fold in on the hamburger side, one side, flip it around, and the other side. Okay, hopefully it's not sputtering and being choppy, the video for everyone, and maybe it's just me. I just like to do that, y'all. Okay, so then when you folded them, you end up with 8 little sections, okay? So you have 8 sections. I'm gonna fold it back, hamburger, okay? And you have on the one side is the folded edge, and then on the other side is the opening. And you are going to cut down this crease right here, just to the first crease this way, okay? And I cannot cut and talk at the same time. So from the folded into the center. Okay, so then you end up with this, you put it back to a hot dog, and you end up with a plus sign. Okay, so at this point, you technically have 2 fronts, all right? The front cover, for me, I don't just like fold it up. I actually have a process to fold it up because of the fact that I like it to lay as perfectly flat as possible. Okay, give me a second. I'm not seeing. Are you all still seeing me? Okay. Okay, so you are seeing me. Okay. I don't understand what's going on, but my is restarted. So just give me a second, y'all, while I try to figure this out for myself. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I can't, the freezing, unfortunately, I cannot, I have zero control over. All right. I think that I'm back, maybe. Okay. Hopefully I'm back to everybody. Yes, I got kicked out as well. It was kind of bizarre. All right. Well, hopefully it's recording, and if worse comes to worse, this is a recorded video, and you can watch the replay. There you have it. Okay, so what I was saying is I tend to fold my zine by laying down this back side and then folding it on itself. So you technically have a choice of two fronts. It can be this one, or you can flip your zine around and it can be this one. So the back of this left side is the front to me. So you can see this one is got a real pretty design on it. If I to flip it to round, it's plain. So you choose what you want as your front, okay? I'm gonna choose to have the flowers as my front and back, okay? So I'm holding the front that I want in my left hand, squishing it together, laying that front down, and then slowly, just gently, more than slowly, fold the pages down. The last one will need some extra bending and smushing because it is now laying over a bunch of paper, okay? So hopefully we're back and everything is delightful. All right, so now we have a zine, okay? And now you can see how on the inside, whoops, not in camera, that has that green paper, which really makes it nice and pretty if you do your zines with an inside color. Not important, just there, all right? So the final thing I want to do to prep my zine is I need to make my pockets, all right? So I'm going to grab my art glitter glue. I'm going to need a new pin soon. It's starting to get a little bent because I use this so much. And I'm going to make pockets. So we have a pocket here, okay? Then we have a pocket at the top here, a pocket here, and then another top pocket. So what I want to do is glue down all the bottoms so that it creates the pockets. All right, so I'm going to hold this up. I'm going to put a little line of glue along the bottom. Okay, and then we have a side pocket. All right, I'm going to go to the next page. The next page is like a tube. Okay, it goes all the way through, but I want to glue just the bottom. This is where glue coming out of a very tiny metal tip helps immensely because then it doesn't take up a lot of space and you end up with, you know, more space in your pockets, okay? And then I'm going to glue the next one. And then the final one, which is again another tube. So those are just the 4 sections that I glue. Okay, and now I have, I have a pocket here, a pocket here, another pocket here, and then a 4th pocket back here, okay? So all this is doing is giving you more space to work in because now you're tucking extra paper in to work on, okay? Sorry, Linda, it kicked everybody off, but as far as I understand, I think it kept recording, so hopefully you'll be able to go back and watch the replay and be able to see it folded, okay? So once we have our zine, then that's what I made this fun stuff for, okay? So you have 2 of these tags, and they are meant to pop in to the 2 top pockets. So let's cut them out. And they've got the green on the back. And yes, you could cut these out with a scissor. Absolutely fine. I just happen to have this sitting next to me. So I'm making it easy on myself to just do the straight, okay? And then I'm gonna I'll use the scissor to cut this part. I am choosing not to punch the hole out, okay? The template that I used for this tag was from Canva, and then I'm just ripping the bottom. Since it already looks rippy, I'm just making it rippy, and I'm ripping it, okay? The template that I used was in Canva, and it comes with this hole as part of the design. You can punch it out if you want to, but I'm going to staple ribbons to the top, so I'm going to just leave it be. So then we've got 2, and you can even slide them sideways. You can let one peek out. Okay, we got those 2. And then I did these 2 vintagey postcards, okay? And the idea behind that is going to be, let me round the corners because, hello, that's what I do, is to take these and fold them in half. And actually, I'm going to see if I want to fold it exactly in half or not. Give me a hot minute while I do that. Maybe not. I think I'm going to fold it not quite in half. So I'm going to leave about, I don't know, 1/2 inch. I can measure that for y'all. Just almost 1/2 inch. Okay. You can fold them directly in half. And these pop in to here. Okay. The reason why I'm not folding it directly in half is, one, I love when the tags stick out of the page. And I also can put something on here to pull it. All right. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So if you're got your printables, these are what those, I love when my English comes out just so Englishy. This is what they were for, okay? You do not have to use these for this project. You could take these postcards and use them for something else. You can print them multiple times and use them for lots of things. These postcards would also be fun if you, sorry, not in camera, if you were to print these postcards and then cut them in half and corner around all of them, you could make a set of like tags that you put on a ring and just print a bunch of them, and then 1/2 would have the roses, 1/2 would have this, the back would be green, and then you can start playing with them and do something with them that way, all right? So any kind of printable is always just, you can be very straightforward with it, or you can just use it as inspiration for your own enjoyment and your own work. Okay, so there's where my tabs, these are where everything goes in this. So now we're going to decorate. We're going to play on the inside. A couple things that I wanted to, I brought out, that's where I printed this in cardstock, and then I have these and regular printer paper, so I have some collage material. And then I also went through my stash and pulled out things that had a similar color theme, or that were kind of vintagey, or had doilies. I don't know. I just pulled everything I could find that kind of went with it. Some book paper, even some vintage photos. You just play with it, and I'm going to put some stuff in here. Before I do that, I had an idea. I had an idea. This is some seam binding or some kind of, I don't know what it is. I don't have the packaging for it anymore, but it's some kind of seam binding that I got. And because I've decided not to punch these holes, I want to have some fun like ribbon that I can put up here, but I didn't want it to be just white. So I'm going to take my watercolor because I want this to dry while I'm playing. I'm going to take watercolor and, I don't know, some pinks, whatever's working. And I'm going to put some watercolor. Yes, you could spray these. You could, use acrylics or your alcohol inks. But I just wanted to have some color on these. And watercolor to me is the fastest thing that I can put down. Okay, and because it's like a seam binding, it goes all the way through. All right. So this is just a little bonus thing because this was not written on anything. And I, sometimes I get these ideas for me in the shower, the middle of the night. Those are my fun times for ideas. You just never know when an idea is going to pop in your head, and I just go with it and see what happens. So I'm going to add just a little bit. I don't need a ton of this, but I want to have enough. Okay. All right. So if you needed some ribbons, maybe go find some ribbons. So we're going to let that dry to the side. And then we're going to play. So the first thing I thought of, I also have my butterflies. Okay. The first thing I thought of is I might want to make this a little bit dimensional. So what if, I'm going to use these scissors. What if y'all, I was to cut the same flower, okay, that is on the front of the zine, out of the cardstock. So it gives it a little bit of dimension. I also want to remind you that when I fussy cut, it is fussy-ish. I am not a perfectionist I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to most anything, but when it comes to my art, because I'm sure people in my personal life would beg to differ. But I don't mind that it's not exact. That doesn't matter to me. Okay. And I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to use a pencil. Boop, boop. And I'm going to cut out the same flower, the same piece. Okay, so it's doubled here. All right. Now I would like it to stand out a little. So one, I'm going to take, these are Inktense pencils. It's a little blurry. I use this one a lot, but this is an Inktense pencil. It's a water-soluble pencil. And I'm going to go along the edge of my petal here. And I'm going to just darken up I'm also working on printer paper as the base. I'm going to pull these out actually. So I'm just working straight on the piece. So remember that if you did this on printer paper, water and printer paper are not in love with each other. Okay. Like that. I might also put a little bit on the edge of this. You could just, glue it down, but this is me playing with what else can I do besides just fold the zine and add some quotes. What else? What other fun things show up? So how can I use my supplies in a different way? Okay. I also want to see, I have a green. What about if I take the green? You could just do colored pencils or like a Neo 2-color crayon. You could just use your watercolors. I have gotten back into my Inktense pencils. I now have them out on my table. And anytime I have stuff out, I'd use it. I'm that kind of person. Okay. Now I'm going to dry this. Now, the whole point of this is I also have these little pop dots, these little styrofoam sticky dots. I'm going to dry this with my heat gun. So give me a second, and then I'm going to attach. All right. So I'm going to put a couple of these. This idea popped in my head. I don't know how it's going to look. Honestly, I've done this with some butterflies. I did them with the butterflies in the other zine that I'm going to share a little sneak peek of later. But then I thought, well, what if I did this with, kind of bulking up the flowers? And I wanted to see what would happen. And so here I am trying it with you live on camera, because how are there better way to try something than to do it live on camera and see what happens, right? One never knows, does one? By the way, if you don't have any of these pop dots, they might be something fun for you to grab. They're kind of interesting. Okay. So now and I can see the white. How would you solve that? I'm going to pick up some watercolor and stuff some pink watercolor on top of my pop dots, because I don't like how the white is showing. And I have that ability. All right. So now I have the first part of it is a little bit on the dimensional side. I could probably add some more stuff to that, but for right now, that's what I'm going to do with that one. All right. Now let's go inside and see what I'm going to do. A couple things that popped into my head as I was gathering my supplies was, what supplies do I love using? I have fallen in love with this punch. So, I don't know, let's see. Instead of having that, could I do that? I have, well, you know what? I'm going to use some of this book paper. What if, y'all, this is how my brain works, and I really honestly don't try to stop it. I don't try to stop my brain. I don't try to question my intuition too much. I just want it to be, what popped into my head. And, I don't know, that popped into my head. And always remember, I say this all the time. I might do something that you're like, what? Why would she put that? Who would do that? That is a great question. Why would I do that? It's because I would do that. You don't have to do that. You can do whatever you want to do. Now I still have a little piece of this left over. What if I put this on here? Okay, so I'm probably going to put this on here, add this and part of this so it blends in. I'm feeling like I need something else, so I'm going back to my Gwen. I'm in love with this envelope, by the way. The colors are delightful. I don't know. Let's just rip paper and see. The layering can be really fun. I'm not really sure where I'm going with this. Okay, that's not working. But that's why we keep playing. I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, there we are. I'm looking for something like it was not enough of a contrast. And by contrast, it could be textural or it could be color-wise. And I'm liking the little bit of the doily underneath, just peeking out. So let's just glue it down. It might not be the answer, but it's the answer for right now, right? So how would you play? You know, you don't have to answer this. You can put it in the chat if you want to. That's entirely up to you, but it's more like a rhetorical question. How would you play with this? Would you just use the background and just go in and add maybe some beautiful quotes or some photos? Or does it speak to you in a way that you want to, you know, add something else to it? You want to pretend the background is just background and you want to build up on it and make it, you know, busier? Do you want more flowers on it? Do you want paint on it? All of it is valid. All of it is correct. Don't forget, when a printable is, you can print it as many times as you want to. And I wanted to make this stand out. So off we go. I just have to also remember, do I want it here? Yes, I want it here. I was going to say, I had to remember if I put it up here that this bends, okay? I'm going to repeat the doily. So I feel like what I'm doing for this page is just kind of enhancing what's already there. Chop that off. Don't necessarily need these itty bitty doilies out. I'm enhancing what's there, just kind of using what is showing up. And then I just want part of this. Actually, I'm going to glue it and then I'll cut it. And sometimes gluing it down and then chopping it is easier than trying to cut it so it fits. Whoops, this way. And now I still have these two. If I want, I can use them on something else. Okay, and I might need something in the center. So how about I'm going to hole punch, because this green, I'm still loving the green. I love the green in the background. So can I use that and pull the green back up? By just adding a dot in the center. Okay. There was another one in here. There we go. Nope. So that was a simple fix, just adding a dot of green into the center. And let's see. Maybe even a couple of leaves. Because this is raised up, I have the ability to tuck leaves underneath them. Now I have dots everywhere. There's dots everywhere, y'all. Oops. All right. Okay. I still have this little center thing. Now, I love, when I put that there, I love that. The reason being is I now have a triple, okay? It doesn't have to be on a flower, but it gives me a triple hit. I love things in threes. If you're around me a hot minute, you will know that. And then I need one more circle. Boop. Okay, so visually, this is how I know that, like, my eye was missing something. And as soon as I put that down, it now softly rolls itself through the page, okay? Oh, I skipped a whole page. Look at that, fun. So that can be it. You can continue to add to this. I am okay with it. I might add a quote. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to actually bring this up because I had this on my table and I love it. I could test a butterfly. I have 3 butterflies in this packet. Do they go? Yes. Yes, they do. Do I want to add it to this one? Maybe not. Okay, I might not, just because I only have 3 to work with right now today. So, but maybe even just a single word. Give me 1 second. I will grab. I have lots of words. Here we go. Here it is. So maybe just a single word tucked in on this page, like it feels, or 2 words on these. And let's see, what do we want? What would this, there you go. We've got the word bloom. How do we feel on the summer solstice? We got the word bloom. And this sheet, some of you have this sheet. If you're in the membership, I think you have this sheet. If you've taken my word of the year class, you definitely have this sheet. So bloom and adventure. It's summertime. And so that's all I want to say for this page. Because y'all, creativity is an adventure. You just never know. Glue stick, there we go. Just never know what's going to happen. This page is an adventure. I cannot believe what time it is. It is just flying. Time is flying. Lynn, you mean this background here? If that's what you're talking about, the zine background is if you mean it's a printable I gave to y'all, so one, there's that, but where I got the designs was part of a class that I took on digital artwork, and there's a bunch of digital artwork in there as part of our class, if that was your question. So one, if you're just looking for this specific piece of paper, is part of the printable that came out in the email this morning. The link is in the description below. And for the members, the printables for both zines are already in the membership, so you can grab them. But if you're talking about the actual artwork, that was part of a class. Okay, so what else could we do here? Let's add some stamping. And then I'm going to do a ribbon. So what I was going to say is I can't believe how fast the time has gone. An hour has just gone. It's 1:15 already. Woo! So don't be afraid to add more pattern to your page. Ooh, this looks kind of fun. So this pattern kind of looks like chicken wire. Well, I guess it is chicken wire. So by adding this on, I have now added a second layer of wood, flowers, and the chicken wire. So now it's really got that outdoor, I'm at a fence feeling. For me. It doesn't have to be for you. It's for me. I would like a butterfly to land on that. I'm also going to look at I have some of these vintage photos. Ooh. Susan, if you're still here, I hope you're recognizing some of the stuff that you sent me in Happy Mail. And I love this is a whole nother texture, okay? Maybe here. That feels like I need some pink underneath it. Again, y'all, don't question. Try not to question. I know I'm like, don't question. Try not to question your instincts. If an idea pops in your head, try it. What's the worst that can happen? Not a darn thing. Okay, I'm also feeling, this is just an ink pad, a green ink pad. Oh, Susan, I use them so much. I love them. That would be an invitation if you want to hand me more of your inchies. Okay, so that gives it some layers. This gives it another section of layer. I love that. All right, what else? What else? Oh, I know. So I also have string thread also kept popping into my head. Do something with thread, Kansi. Like, okay. So I pulled out thread. So I have some thread. I don't know. Does that look good? Yes, maybe. So I'm just looking to build some layers in here. Some texture. Sometimes you gotta, it helps if, I like to save all the threads after I've done something sewn. And it feels a little different after it's come out of the sewing machine. Okay, so that gives that texture. I love that. All right, so again, not thinking, just gluing. If it doesn't scream no, this is me talking about how my process is. I'm using the art glitter glue on this because it is watercolor paper, I believe. It's a lot thicker, and so it does hold better with a thicker, with this glue, as opposed to a glue stick, okay? Nope, I'm going with this. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right. So we're gonna put glue, threads, because it all feels like threads to me. Love it. And then I'm gonna pop my butterfly on top. I'm just holding it a second just to glue it down. I'm going to clip my threads. If they feel too bubbly, I want them to stick out. I'm going to do that. If one's too long, trim. I love that. Okay, so it doesn't also have to be like this whole big double page spread. It could just be that. It's a simple spread. I'm feeling like a word needs to happen again. I'm going with the first one that pops it, that shows up and went, ooh, that's thoughtful. And this would be a wink to Susan for being thoughtful and sending me stuff to play with. There you go. Thoughtful. And it has some dimension, which is lovely. Okay. I love it. All right. So the other thing, couple things, I do want to share the other, you can continue to play. Obviously, you could play in this forever, y'all. Okay. There's so much that can be done in these. Name and address, kind of liking, believe in yourself. What is your name? What is your address? Believe in yourself. I'm going to leave that there. Oh, Valerie, hi. Valerie asked if I go live every Friday. No, it is every other Friday. So the next one will be actually July 4th. For those that are in the United States. Yes, I'll be live on July 4th because why not? I'm not going anywhere. So yeah, every other Friday, Valerie. So again, I wanted to say that it can be just as simple as just gluing some stuff down. It can be that you enhance the flowers. You could forget the flowers are there. Like if we're using a lot of scrapbook paper that's really busy backgrounds, then just let it be the background. Take some gesso and kind of go over it a little bit and push the background back, and then you have the ability to just play, okay, on top of it. So I wanted to share just quickly, and then I'll do a run through. So this is never going to be finished, okay? I worked on the one I'm going to share in a second for 2 hours straight without working, without stopping. And that was because I was making a video. When I work in zines, and how I want you to think about zines, is that they are a small surface that you can do in short bits of time with simple supplies. That is my motto. I will say that over and over again. You now have all these pages, okay? You got all these little pages, not all, and it's not even a lot of pages, so it's not overwhelming. And then when you start working with your tags, you have the whole inside here. You can just use them for journaling. If you were a journaler and you wanted to add some words to this, or poetry or scripture, song, lyrics, whatever you're trying to hold on to in the moment, then this is a great place, both of all of these, even the tags, for journaling. But you also have the ability to decorate on the inside. Okay, so everything I was doing could go on the inside of these, and now you have multiple surfaces. You could also do something fun. Maybe you have stamps that match this, or you have another cutout of a flower, or the butterfly. This butterfly goes really beautifully with this, so I could use pop dots and pop this butterfly on here and just have an additional layer to it. This is pretty blank. You could go crazy and add lots of different things to that, all right? So I just want you to think outside the box. What else can you add? What other fussy cut ephemera do you have, like little bees or little ladybugs that you could cut out? Do you have stickers that are something that you could just add, and that would be your layer? It doesn't have to be fancy. It can be as busy. I use the word busy in that it can be as busy as you want it to be, in that there's a ton of layers, or it can be that this is what you do. You printed it, you cut it, you journaled on the back, you wrote something delightful you wanted to remember, and you tucked it in, okay? I also, the way I'm going to top these is I have that ribbon, boop. Okay, so this is my watercolored ribbon. And how old will your granddaughter be, Charlene, on the 4th of July? So I have this watercolor ribbon that I painted. I also have some sari ribbon, and so I was going through my stash and just finding ribbons that matched. All right, and I'm going to cut this in half because I only have one piece of this. Boop. And then since this is how long this is, I'm going to just cut the same here. I might cut the sari ribbon in half. Nope, doesn't rip, so we have to cut. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid to do stuff. Don't be afraid. None of this is like, not that you'll never get another piece of ribbon again, or you'll never get, another piece of paper again, or you'll never be able to coffee dye another piece of paper or print another thing. It's all, you can do all of it, and it's all fun. Okay, I'm going to scrunch it up. I'm very technical with this. I'm scrunching. I don't know. I just want to see what happens. And I'm going to staple it on. Let's see what happens, y'all. Staple, oh, there we go. I also like to smush my staples. All right, trim make it skinnier. Okay, but when I pop this in the top, and it might be too busy, I might get this out and be like, what was I thinking? But then I'm like, nope, 22. Ooh, what a lovely age. All right. But I love that now I've got all this like crazy ribbon. It's like crazy hair sticking at the top. And if it's too long, give it a haircut. There you go. Haircut. Okay. And then I still have the back to play with. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to take, I do not have distress inks. If you guys have distress inks and like doing like junk journal distress inking on the edge of things, please do that. But I just use my stamp pads, okay? But it helps anchor it in a color. I think you can kind of see that. And then I pop that in, and there you have it. Some zhuzh, okay? I probably will also, I'm making a big old mess here, maybe even put, this might be a little bold for this, but to play with some of my papers here, maybe even, I don't know, this might be a little too thin, but I wanted to just give you an idea. So to take one of the papers, this is definitely too thin as a tab, but it will give you an idea. Okay, and put a tab on it so that it's just something fun. Hi, Christy. All right. So I would probably going to do something fun on the edges of this. What that is, I don't quite know yet. I need to play with it some more, and making those decisions right now is not working for me. So, but I hope that gives you some ideas. Let me do a quick show and tell. So this is, keep playing with it. Okay, this is all we did today. There's plenty more that I can play with and do. I'm going to take my time. But the printable that is coming out on Sunday, and the video that will accompany it, is called Woodland, and this is the finished piece. Okay, that you'll watch the video of how I made this. So the tags are these. So you got one butterfly tag, a second butterfly tag, and then the tags on the top are these gorgeous cloche. I think they're called cloches. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I called them in the video. Okay, there's two of them. And then I decorated, then you have sheets of flowers and butterflies to play with, okay, and do the same idea. So the zine on this one is wood paper. It looks like a wood grain. Looks like this right here, and I printed it on both sides so that inside the envelope is also wood grain, okay? And so you get all the printables to make this, all the flowers, the background, and then the tag papers. And then this is the one, I printed the printable on white with a white background before I printed it with the grungy like coffee dyed background. And I took a piece of coffee dyed paper and I did the same thing. See how it's on white versus that. But this time I decorated all the tags, okay? And so this one I used some image transfers and some bigger quotes and invited this to be more of a I am affirmation zine for myself. But also remember, these zines are an absolute delightful thing to send to a friend. They're, instead of buying a greeting card, make a zine, okay? Make a zine, put a lot of inspirational stuff in it. I'll pull these out. I also decorated the back of all of these. Make an inspirational zine and send that as a greeting card, because it is like so special for when you do that. It is one of a kind. It is not, it's not Hallmark. And these line up so that, yeah. No, Linda, you don't have these printables yet. This printable will come out on Sunday in my newsletter, 1, or 2. It will be, there's a video here on YouTube that's going live on Sunday where I made this on camera, okay? And then you can get the printable then. If you are in my membership, the printables are already there in the printable section. So you have access to them. You've had access to them since Wednesday, and you can play with them till your heart's content, okay? But it is meant for you to have something fun and manageable to work on that gave you, like, you can spend the time fussy cutting the flowers. Here's some of the extras that I have, a couple extra butterflies that I just haven't used yet, but you'll see that I don't get super fussy with them. But that can be part of your practice, is to spend a little time just fussy cutting out the flowers, okay? If you have the ability to print the stuff on sticker paper, that is also really fun. I love printing printables like this, like collage ephemera like this, on sticker paper and then fussy cutting it, because then I have stickers, and that's a lot faster than gluing stuff down. Print it on deli paper, print it on cardstock, print it on printer paper. All of it has different ways of gluing down, different feeling that that you can, it works differently. The cardstock lets you do this like dimensional, it's sitting up. This is also sitting up with the pop dots, but the paper lies flatter, okay? And then of course deli paper disappears into the background, which is also delightful, all right? So all of these are, you can get this printable right now. The Wild Roses one is in the link below, is in the description, and then come back on Sunday and get yourself these. Get on my newsletter list. That would always be helpful. I'm going to put my face back in the spotlight. Get on my newsletter, and then you'll get it on Sunday in your inbox. So that's up to you. Okay. So these printables are all a thank you to my people. Okay. Whether you are a new person to me, like you just found me today, you're still my community, or you have been with me for the whole 5 years that I've been doing this membership. Some of you have, and that is amazing to me. And it's just gratitude for being a part of my world. But these are just a thank you for being a part of my world. Okay. They're free to you. They will put you on my mailing list, my email list. I'm just letting you know that, because, but I send out a newsletter every Sunday with a lot of inspirational things and ideas. Sometimes it's a challenge to push you maybe a little bit outside of your comfort zone. It tells you everything I'm doing. If I'm going live on YouTube, do I have a new YouTube video? Do I have a new class? And then it is in celebration of the fact that I have had a membership called the Creative Playground for 5 years. And I really, really love that community. It is a lot of what I do here on YouTube, but it is more in person because we're on Zoom and you can talk to me. You have a lot more access to me when you're part of the playground, which is delightful. There is a lot of benefits to the playground in that you can take what you want from it. There's so many lessons, but you can learn something new. You can dive into something deeper. You can, reach out and ask for help. You can join our live calls and, kind of like crowdsource. There's a lot of us that do that. How do you use a supply? What have you been working on? And we get inspiration from each other. Okay. So if you would like to be a part of that or would like more information, the membership link is below, I'm sure. And if not, then, it's coming in the newsletter and you can sign up for that below as well. All my links are always in my description. The membership is now open. It's open for the next 5 days until Tuesday at midnight, Eastern time. I'm in Eastern. And it is, if you join, you get the first month free. Okay, because I know I will have someone ask this. The membership is $24 a month, and then or $240 for the year. The $240 gets you 2 free months. But if you sign up now, then you get the first month is free. Or if you join for the year, you get $24 off. So technically, you get 3 free months, which is delightful, and then you get to spend the whole year with me. It is a subscription you cancel when you are done. There's no hard feelings. You're done and you get what you need from it. Some people stay with me a really long time, and I absolutely love that. But it is there for you to learn how to just play and have fun. Definitely let go of perfection. I am very much about just seeing what happens. And if you want to do it, the answer is yes. It's rare I tell you no. And if I do, I usually have a really good reason for why I think maybe not that way. Let's try it this way. But curiosity and play and fun, it's called a playground for a reason. Okay, when you go to a playground as a child, you go to have fun and be with your friends and go on the monkey bars and ooh, let's go to the swings, ooh, let's go down the slide. You kind of like want to try all the things and just test them out and see what happens. And sometimes you're like, I don't want to be on the swing, or I love being on the swing, but I need to be on swings with a friend. So you have a friend if you want in the playground. So just really embrace the whole concept of playing in curiosity and imperfection. Joy and delight, joy and delight. You are fabulous. You are creative. You are all of those things. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you to everyone. Kimber and Tammy, I see your notes. Thank you so much for those in the chat. If you have questions, please reach out to me. I am but an email away. It might take me a couple days to respond to you, but I will get back to you. And if you have, you can make comments below. That's absolutely fine. I read every comment here on YouTube and respond to them. You are so more than welcome in my community, whether it's just on the email list and you watch here on YouTube, or you join me in membership or take a class, whatever works for you, I'm here for that. Okay? There is no pressure ever. In my world. Everybody has their own life experiences. Everybody has crap that they have to deal with. Good, bad, neutral. Sometimes it's just neutral crap. And that's good. You take as you need to, and take what works, leave the rest. I learned that a long time ago from a friend. I love that statement. Take what works, leave the rest. It's not important anymore. If you need it later, it will come back around. I do believe that. So that's where I'm going to leave y'all. And I will be back in 2 weeks, July 4th, for those of you that would like to, spend the 4th of July playing in your art journals. So my usual Fridays, just for those that are new, my usual Friday lives are just me playing in my art journals. I'm trying this year to just work through and finish some because, I like to make them. But I also would like to play in them. So I play here live on YouTube, and sometimes I use Prompt X, sometimes I just play and I'm just babbling for an hour. And so yeah, this was kind of a little special because we had a printable to play along with. But you can bring the printable zines in 2 weeks and play with those while we all hang out together here on YouTube. So again, thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you all soon in all the places. Love you all. Have a great day.